found its way to the back of the net. So all knotted up at 1 apiece. It is on the throw-in now in the restart, almost looking for the simple ball, and that rolls back out of bounds off the foot of Rodriguez for a Griffins throw-in. As I mentioned, Trinity League play will start next week. It'll start at Santa Margarita, who's ranked number 5 in Orange County's top 10. It doesn't get any easier than that game. They follow up their league opener by hosting number 1 ranked Servite. And a couple days later, they travel down south to take on number 6 ranked J. Sarah. All these teams in the Trinity League, a very competitive league here for your St. John Bosco Braves, as they did finish second last year, winning 13 games. As the referee's kind of talking to Alex Nold, the junior, and he's making him sub out of the game. I did not see a card. He might be bleeding. That might be another reason for him to ultimately come out of the game right now, as Martinez will replace him, and the referee kind of spoke to him, and Nold now is in fact somewhat bleeding as he's kind of gargling some water in and out and trying to get back onto the field, as the referee noticed something that made him come off of the field. So no yellow card for Nold, who's been called for the last 2 or 3 fouls on the Braves. As Rodriguez now looking for the switch and finds Gill playing right mid now for the Braves, working from right to left. Here in the second half, all knotted up at 1 apiece from Frank Rabota Field on the campus of St. John Bosco in Bellflower. The 24th minute of play now, just underway here. As Nold looking to come back onto the field, and referee doesn't allow it. So will be a next dead ball possibly for Nold to re-enter the game. And a long ball up into the air for the keeper, Lazar. That is gobbled up easily as he lets loose on his kick. Martinez now with the ball and serves it to Sarmiento. Ball finding its way to Macias, who has a service and a switch of the field to Gill. That doesn't find him until the bouncing ball kind of helped out Gill there as he was trying to apply some pressure. And plenty of time here for Torres to play back to Koba, who's right at the edge of the 18-yard box. Perez not into the game at all tonight, who's kind of jostled back and forth in starting positions for the Braves. As now the Griffins trying to work some magic here outside of the 18-yard box. The ball finds its way to Adrian Garcia. He's trying to play Ross up top. Nice defense there by the Braves, and that's ultimately upfield to Frasca, who looks to switch the ball, and that's poked out of bounds for a Bosco throw-in, as it was almost on that last defensive play. Nice, calm defense there. All knotted up as Gill is going to be replaced by Alex Nold. Martinez will switch all the way to the right side of the field, playing right mid. Nold will stay at central mid where he started the game. Long throw in now from Orihuela. And Frasca really applying some pressure there, and luckily he played up and out of harm's way. Nold now right at midfield finds Macias on the left side. Looking to switch the ball, and he does. That's going to be too far. It rolls out of bounds for Martinez. It'll be a Griffins throw. And all tied up here from Frank Rabota Field on the campus of St. John Bosco here in Bellflower. Thank you for joining us on Spreaker.com's National Sports Radio. In the 27th minute now of play, 40-minute halves here, as it is the first Saturday night under the lights, they call it, for the men's varsity program here. The Braves playing their first ever Saturday night under the lights here at the football stadium. Football program that's very rich in tradition and a very dominant football program. They made it all the way to the Southern California title this season, losing ultimately to Centennial. And then Centennial losing the state championship to De La Salle. Rodriguez now in control for the Braves. Finds Macias along the near side of the field. Plenty of room to work with here for Macias. Decides to go inside, uses right foot, and cut it across the field. And a lazy ball finds Los Alamitos instead of his teammate. And a 50-50 ball kind of dove in there by Matt Wall, the senior starter for the Griffins. Did not see who he tackled with on the far side of the field, as that is a Brave down on the field, looking to get to his feet. And right now it looks like it might, thankfully, just be cramps. And I say that cautiously because cramps are nothing easy to deal with, but I'd rather it be a cramp than something serious like a knee injury or ankle injury. But the player is still down on the field. I'll tell you who it is just as soon as he gets up. His jersey's kind of covered right now. Rodriguez. So it is Rodriguez, who's back up on his feet. Nice to see him walking around, as it was a 50-50 ball with Rodriguez and Matt Wall. Rodriguez, unfortunately, getting the bad end of that tackle, but it will be Bosco ball. Still quite a distance from the 18-yard box and goal, but Rodriguez very gingerly limping away now, so I might substitute him out if I'm head coach Dave Sabat. We'll keep you posted as ball is in play now, and Frasca working on the near sideline, tries to serve it inside of the box as Torres now loses the ball on the near side. Rodriguez back and running now, so that's a good sign. As Orihuela, the central defender on the back line, plays it back to Koba. Koba has a go and finds Martinez on the far side of the field. Right at midfield now. Sarmiento looking up top to Nold and finds him. And the Griffins sniff that pass out and go up midfield, trying to go on quickly on a counterattack, and Herring on the far side of the field, and at the very last second poked away defensively. Fantastic play there by Aaron Zapata, the 4-year varsity player for your Braves, as Macias now on the attack for the Braves, crosses midfield, goes along the near side of the field, one-on-one, looking for some help, looking for an option, finds Torres, who's trailing him, trying to do a 1-2 on the sideline, and that rolls out of bounds for a Braves throw-in. So Zapata on that last defensive play, the very last second. And as I mentioned, Rodriguez walking gingerly is, in fact, getting substituted out for Lohman, Tyus Lohman, the senior, who will play at right mid, it looks like, or one of the central midfielders for head coach Dave Sabat. I can hear Rodriguez's frustration on the sideline as he approaches the bench. There's a long throw-in, Frasca, and a deflection and a header, and nearly settled down in an attempted strike for the Braves, and that goes astray as the ball is now near midfield. As Lohman plays it on the far side of the field, the ball rolls out of bounds, an extra touch. And if it was controlled a little bit more cautiously there, that would have had a great attempt on goal. When that rolled out of bounds after a bad first touch from the Braves. As the referee really calling somewhat ticky-tack fouls now, after he let them play so much in the first half, and even early on in the second half, has blown his whistle quite often here in the second half. Already the 5th foul in this half for the Braves. Still knotted up here, 1 apiece. In the 32nd minute now of the 40 minutes in the second half. All knotted up 1-1. Luke Sarmiento, your goal scorer for the Braves early on in this game in the 6th minute. Ooh. And right outside of the 18-yard box, That was Brett Hall who decided to have a beautiful strike and right off the post, as that was looking to sail out of bounds, kind of knuckleballed its way in and on frame. So beautiful strike there by Wall, and unlucky on him. Excuse me, that was Brett Hall, not Matt Wall. Unlucky for him, right off the post, unfortunately for the Braves. And Koba, that dings right off the post. The first scoring attempt for Los Alamitos in the second half, aside from their goal early on in the half, they haven't really had much going on so far in the second half. So Bosco now trying to regain possession and apply some pressure here late in the second half, all tied up at 1 apiece. Is Orihuela now kind of a lazy foul. That was by Herring on the far side of the field, right in front of the Griffins bench. And he's down on the field. Just a few minutes ago, Rodriguez on the bad side of a 50-50 tackle as well, and he's out of play right now, right on the bench. He's looking to come back into the game after he gingerly walked off of the field for a substitution. And it looks like he wants to come back in, but head coach Dave Sabat's not really signaling much to him. So Orihuela now back into the game, and a service into the box from Sarmiento, and that's gobbled up by Lazar, the junior goalkeeper for the Griffins. As Macias now on the near side of the field, looking for some options, and everyone is slipping, including Macias. As Frasca trying to really stay on his feet for the most part. As Martinez finds Lohman on the far side, and that rolls out of bounds for a Braves throw-in. Lohman now on the far sideline. That is, in fact, now a Griffins throw-in after a pass by Olmos. As we're all tied up here from Frank Rabota Field on the campus of St. John Bosco here in Bellflower. Thank you for joining us on Spreaker.com's National Sports Radio. You can also tune in and watch the video feed on the livestream.com. Just search Bosco Soccer. As Martinez now looking for service inside the box, and that sails wide of the goal and gobbled up by Lazar. And decides to play it quickly and find Herring, and it ultimately lands at his feet after a bouncing ball. He's trying to push some pressure to the far side of the field, takes on two defenders, and St. John Bosco wins that battle, but that ball is played right into the hands of one of their forwards and service inside of the box. Nice play by Koba as he's vocally and physically ready to get that ball back, and he finds Macias on the near side of the field. Bouncing ball for Macias. Coach is wanting a handball. No call by the referee. And the ball sails out of bounds for Griffin's throw-in. Unlucky there, as it was pretty much a handball. No call by the referee. Sarmiento now on the switch. Finds Lohman. Lohman looking for some help. He's pushed off the ball. It will be a foul on Los Alamitos. So a very tightly called second half here by head referee in the middle. We are in the 36th minute now, all tied up 1 apiece. As both teams scoring on long throw-in plays, long throw-ins into the 18-yard box, and both found it in the back of the net. Service now from Sarmiento and punched out at the last second by Lazar. And the Griffins looking to counterattack. Fantastic defense there by Macias. That ball will roll out of bounds deep into their own defensive third, and Lazar now on the ground, the goalkeeper for the Griffins. As he's still on the ground, a referee looking at his watch as we play in the 37th minute, all knotted up at 1 apiece. Looks like he just got winded. So nice to see him okay and able to finish off this game. All tied up at 1 apiece in the 37th minute. Sarmiento, your goal scorer for the Braves. Nold now looking for some help. Heads it over to Frasca. Frasca